Hello and welcome to Rise and Shine with Alissa. I am your hostess, the consultress, here bringing you amazing conversations live from the forefront of innovation, entrepreneurship, and investing. Where family values are concerned, everything is up for review because we get to evolve and address ourselves and our communities and the values we bring live every single day as we renew what we're up to, what we're great at, and how we can make the biggest impact. So today I have the pleasure and the privilege of having the one, the only Suzanne Taylor-King, STK. Welcome to Rise and Shine.
Woohoo! So excited.
So cool to be here with you. We have kind of swam in some of the same streams with a few folks, and we had the opportunity to meet, and it was like the skies parted, the angels sang, and I'm like, this woman is for me.
I
And so
know. I feel the same. And I was like, where does she live? How do I get to her faster?
right on. I mean, Zoom is the quickest way, but
I know.
coming from the Northeast, I feel like we have some similar ways of being, ways of speaking, because we are take no shit, ask for forgiveness type of people, and with the
Yes.
giant heart, So
Yes.
like, I love that you serve deeply. And so when we met, it was supposed to be a 20-minute call that wound up being an hour long. And I'm so pleased to have you here. So let's, if you can give us an introduction to like your passion in life and how that shows up in your work. Love to introduce you to the audience here.
Oh, well, I think the best way to introduce myself is really just to say that my whole entire life, I've been really good at talking to people, really good at talking my way out of problems and into problems. So let's just caveat that.
Listen,
And
not while I'm drinking, please.
oh, sorry. Sorry. Take another sip and then I'll say something else funny. Um, I love my sense of humor. I love the fact that I'm no fluff and no BS. So I'm a very straight shooter. I tell people like it is. And that was really difficult when I became a coach and I came into the online space after a 20-year career in dentistry. I was a dental hygienist for 20 years. And you're going to see the connection because I got really good at talking to people. New person every hour on the hour, 40 hours a week for 20 years. And what I learned in that time was how to give people a space that they felt safe. Obviously, I'm going to put sharp instruments in their mouth and that they were less nervous and less intimidated by things they didn't know about. So, bringing that forward into my coaching, connecting that dot for me was key. Connecting that dot of who I was in the past and this person who I was as a hygienist, who I was as a friend in high school. My high school friends called me the instigator. I was always the one with the plans. I was the one with, we're doing this, and this is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're not going to get in trouble for it. And I think taking all of that together, I needed to figure out a way now that I work with entrepreneurs the last 5 years, started as a health coach, then got into the mindset arena, and now working with entrepreneurs to grow their business. I really had to discover what is that secret combination of things that I'm doing. And it boiled down to confidence in yourself, in your offers, in your pricing, and the transformation that you provide.
Mm. And the world really needs that right now. We're in this
Mm,
place in this age of disruption, I call it, where
yeah.
everybody's rethinking what their personal value is to the world. They're
Mhm.
rethinking their work, they're rethinking their businesses, and
Yeah.
people are rethinking how they receive value. Yeah, I
Mhm.
was just watching a Netflix, binge watching a Netflix series, and it was like, how do you shop? I shop like normal people on Amazon. Like 10 years
Mhm.
ago, that wasn't the way we shopped. We went to the
Right.
mall. Like that's where I hung out as a teen. We went and tried to, go and do things that were um, engaging for us, but that also like piqued our interest. And now in today's day and age, where we have so much going on, there's so much noise out there. Like, how do you differentiate as a business? How do you stand for what your value is that you're delivering in this world, and then making sure you're very clear at communicating that value? I love that you had that piece about confidence, because you could have the best shit in the world. If you're not
Yeah.
confident about how you're bringing it to market, doesn't matter how brilliant it is, people are buying you now. So, can
Right.
you tell us a little bit about kind of the how that shows up for you and how you like bring people through that process?
Well, I think first it was doing that process for me. So it was about 2 years ago, and I was ready to up level what I was doing, what I was charging, who I was working with. My ideal client was shifting. And I thought, well, how am I going to figure this out? I didn't want to do it on my own. So I hired a friend of mine, Charlie Timmons, who basically had me do 14 different assessments on myself. And I was like, what is the purpose of this? Like, I know myself pretty well, but this was whole next level, getting to know who I am, what I believe in, my belief statements, my ideas that would help me challenge the status quo for my clients. And so that was key. I had to do the work on me. And once I did the work on me, I said, oh, so moving forward, I'm doing something that I've actually done on myself, reinvent myself again. Right. So I looked at patterns in my life of reinvention and being willing to change, being willing to grow, learning something, screwing something up, having a giant failure and learning lessons, pivoting, growth. And it was this undeniable pattern of failure, learn a lesson, grow, launch something without research, fail, figure it out, grow. And I thought, that's the struggle of 90% of the entrepreneurs that I meet is they don't know how to change and grow to be up with the times. And we can just, right now, we can say AI. Everybody's talking about AI. Everybody's talking about, using AI in your business. Well, guess what? I did a workshop on it. My 14 favorite AI tools that I use on a weekly basis to help me get shit done faster. Want to come? And 70 people showed up for that webinar. It's been my most viewed video on YouTube. And I didn't spend more than 1 minute talking about myself. It was all massive value for the listener. And I think, well, one, figuring it out for me. Here's the short answer. Figure it out for me, put it into practice, watch how it worked like a charm, and then look at patterns. When I had done this in other times in my life, I've changed careers 5 times in my life and been successful every time. Huh? How? Why? Why? And figuring that out and then being able to put it into a process to help my clients do it.
Going first, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the big message? It's like, be that change you want to see in the world. Like, do
Yeah.
what it is that you're asking someone else to do. And because you have wisdom along the way, knowledge
Hmm.
is power. I keep saying this recently, but like, knowledge is power, but wisdom makes an impact. And so
Hmm.
having that experience of transforming yourself lets you turn around to the people who are facing their resistance, going through the fear, maybe like wondering what the hell is on the other side and saying,
Yeah.
that's cool. It's normal. You know why it's normal? Because like I know from firsthand experience. I've been there. Let me share with you what worked for me. I don't pretend or profess to be, the guru of all things and knowing all people.
Yeah.
I know what's worked for me. And so, as a coach and a mentor, bringing people along with bringing them like the one piece of the puzzle that you happen to have that they need at that time. I think a
Mhm.
lot of folks think of coaches as like this, you know, wise sage that has all the answers. And I'm like, come on, like that's not us. That's not what we do. We have
No.
this specific skill set that we've garnered by going through our own transformations. And that is useful if our story resonates and if our successes resonate and our systems resonate to be able to pay that forward and help other people shorten their learning curve. That's why
Yeah.
people pay us to shorten
Hmm.
that curve up, right?
Well, I love that because that awareness about myself So love of learning is my number one character strength. And when I discovered that, it was no surprise. I love to read. I love to take courses. I love personal development. But when I looked at it through the lens of, oh my gosh, I'm getting paid to learn so my clients don't have to spend as long learning something. Break it down, simplify, and give them the action steps. And I did a book summary for a client of mine. I said, "Look, I just read this great book. You got to read it." And he said, "Oh, I'm not a reader." And I said, "Cool, I'll summarize the book and I'll give you the action steps." And he was like, "Hmm, okay." And I sent him an email with a 3-paragraph summary and the action steps. Now I can do that with AI, but back then I did it, from my own reading of the book and the action steps. And he emailed me back. He's like, "I think this is the best thing you've ever given me. This is like amazing. I'm going to do this." And I said, "You're going to do the action steps?" He said, "Yes, I'm going to do each and every one of them." I said, "Okay, I'll make them more detailed for you. So you have a step by step how to do that." And he was like, "Okay." And that became a coaching program per se, custom created based on what that client needed, not some cookie cutter solution that I think is going to sell and make money. Like,
Yeah.
no, no.
Oh, I love you. So this is how real content is made, ladies and gentlemen. Like
Yes,
this
yes,
is like what's working for people, and when you find a
yes,
connection point to be able to provide value for someone,
yes.
that's what you get to pay forward and create. Like, so I had this awareness probably 5 or 6 years ago that like I was not going to create a course. Like I was dead set against course creation because what I found was I kept opening up these containers and finding the same thing over and over again, like platitudes and
Mm,
checklists. And I couldn't
yep.
get my mind wrapped around, like, who is this for? Like,
You want to know something?
yeah.
Most courses, all right, we're going to break the internet right now.
Do it.
Most courses that are out there for sale as an automated thing are purchased by the person selling it and they slap their branding on it.
You taking notes
Well,
out there, everybody?
it's called PLR, public private label rights, and there are platforms that gear specifically for coaches to buy coaching programs to resell. So if you don't know that, some fancy name from some guru coach is most likely just a program they purchase to resell and make money.
And see, this is the thing. I thank you for like kind of opening up the universe on this, because I kept feeling
Yeah,
this resistance. Like I was seeking
that's
mentors,
why.
and I went right around the hey, buy my program. I'm like, excuse me, can I
Hmm.
hire you directly? Because I love what you stand for and I see the results you're getting. So I'd like to work one on one with you. I love your content, but not enough to buy it. I want you so you can tell me specifically where this fits for me. And so,
Hmm.
because I buy that way, I didn't want to create a course or a
Yeah.
platitude or a like, here's a theme that you might get value with, you might not. Like, I'm so passionate about being connected to the purpose of what I'm teaching.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
where my simple methodology was born from. And it took
I
me a
love
full
that.
year to see like what I was repeating. I created worksheets because like it helped my coaching conversations go pretty fluidly. And those are the things that are making differences for people. So
Mhm.
that's what I get to bring to the world. Not because I like made it up and I'm like, let's see how this works.
Mhm.
One of my mentors, Patty Aubrey, says, she's like, don't just go create a course, create what it is that you're up to and go test it, teach people, engage with it, and then refine it. Because when you
Yeah.
come out of the gate as a course creator and you really haven't made an impact for anybody, guess what your course is going to do? Nada. Zip. So,
Nothing.
but then, on the other side, being a real estate investor, I'm like, someone said to me, oh, a course is like having digital real estate that someone can just rent from you over and over again. I
Mm.
thought, all right, well, now I'm listening. now,
Well, you
now
know
I'm
what?
willing.
I think yes, I think you're 100% right, but I think there's one more step into this idea that digital real estate, whether it's what you're posting on social media or a blog or some sort of podcast like you're doing right now, that becomes an authority booster of some sort, right? So somebody sees us having this conversation, even if they don't know you, they don't know me. Oh, they're having an intelligent, like, this seems real, this seems honest, and it's supposed to attract people to that digital real estate, you know? And the
Mhm.
more you have of that, that's set out with that intention and that purpose, the more people end up on your calendar to actually have a conversation about working with you.
I love that. And that is the influence space, right? We think about today's day and age about like people who get paid to be an influencer, and we think, okay, so you have a channel so you can try makeup products and get free makeup. Cool. But like, I
Oh,
think
I
what
would
you're
love that so much, actually.
like, so if anybody wants to give us, makeup or free
Yeah.
shit, let's
Yeah, I'll
go.
wear your lipstick. I don't care.
But the real power of the influencer space is being real on camera, like you and
Yeah.
I are doing, and being able for people to get a flavor for who we are.
Mhm.
I've talked about this a lot, but like Rise and Shine started from a seedling of I'm having such amazing conversations with intelligent, inspiring, and innovative people, whether they're in their own business or they are an innovator in their own right, or they're up to something cool that I want to learn about. But
Mhm.
how does everybody else get access to this information? It's not on Fox News. It's not
No.
out there in the general, populace. So I thought, well, I'm going to create, a series where my strategic partners get to come have conversations so that when I refer them, I can be like, hey, take a look at this video because this
Yeah.
is us. This is real. This is how we jam. So if you like this zing, if you like this flavor of mixing it up, then this will be a good introduction. And it
I
just
love that.
like flourished from being a labor of love where I'm like, I want to be in people's inboxes. I want to send out a newsletter, but how do I do that? But just like, hey, buy my shit over and over again? Not
Oh,
for me.
no, that wasn't for me either. Sole reason I do my podcast with the very same idea. I invite people who I've read their books or we've had a conversation or they inspire me in some way. I invite them on, we have a conversation, it goes out to my list, and it's a relationship builder for me with the person who's my guest, for one. And two, because I'm bringing awesome people to my followers, I go up a notch to them. And, that's plain and simple. Like, if I bring you great value with other people, doesn't that bring me more authority and more influence in your space? Yes, it does, because you know that I'm willing to have those conversations and I'm willing to go find those people and bring them to you so you don't have to.
And that is the key differentiator between
Mm.
vanity influencer
Yeah.
and real impact influencer.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here is the latter.
Mhm.
For all of the things that I've been up to in my life, in all of these three circles that I love to mix it up: entrepreneurship, investing, and parenting.
Mhm.
These are some of the places where like I'm passionate about bringing resources together. When I started homeschooling my kids, I realized like I can't do this by myself. I don't have this myth of like self-made. I have to surround myself with other people who have different experiences, other perspectives to add so that I can see what's out there and like create my space from what exists already or from what other people love and are liking. And so same thing with business. Like I always say like relationships run the world because I truly believe that people that get to like and then you develop this trust. That's how business is done. And that influencer, when you can do it in a way that provides value to people beyond being on the phone with them or being at the dinner table with them, it's
Mhm.
another way to express love into the world. Like for
Oh
me,
yeah.
collaboration is number one because I feel like you're a coach, I'm a coach, but we are so different in who we are that the people that are gravitating to our spaces, like we're not competing against each other.
Right.
This is like the way new business is going, right? The industrial age mindset has everybody competing because it homogenizes everyone that like a coach is a coach is a coach, or some a plumber is a plumber is a plumber. Like I'm a real estate investor. That is so not true. Like there's varying degrees of everyone and different
Yeah.
like life skills and patterns. So for me, this is like one of my favorite things to do is find out like what's working for you. How can we collaborate? What can I do to help you get more reach and more exposure? This conversation wouldn't be possible if we were in that like competitive mind space. Well, like
Oh yeah,
the
100%. And I think what stands out for me most in what you said is that, there are, I don't know how many coaches in the world who
billions.
call them, I don't know how many, right?
I don't either.
And I think what's important to remember as a coach that your clients come from being in relationship with you. To me, a client is created, they're not gotten, they're created. And they're created through a conversation with me, whether that conversation happens because they watched a video of mine or whether it comes from coming to one of my events or hearing me speak. That's the only ways people find me typically. Now, have I picked up a client or two at Starbucks and Michael's craft store? Yes, absolutely. Leaving my husband and my son rolling their eyes like, oh, there goes she is again, talking to strangers. But for the
She's so
most part,
embarrassing.
she's so embarrassing. But for the most part, this is about being distinctive and designing your business so that it resonates with your heart and your mission and your values. And I read a book called Category Pirates, and it was all about category design and meaning, how do you design your niche, right? Well, they argued instead of picking a niche, that you actually design your own category within that niche. So, of course, the light bulb was going off in my head when I read the book. I was like, oh, okay, like this could be really, really powerful for a coach like me who has 20 some certifications. I could literally be anything I wanted in the coaching space. Like once you're engaged with me, I could be a hypnotherapist for you. I could write copy for you. I could give you confidence. I could teach you body language. I could teach you how to go meet people. I could teach you how to get your man to propose to you. So if you're interested in that, ladies, let me know. I'll hold the wait for it.
Yeah.
Not what you think. It's not what you think. And so when I thought about that, as far as designing my own category, how do I take all of the things I could do, put them in a toolbox over here, and then present the no BS, no fluff, action oriented coach who I want to be, who I am, like who's just naturally inside of me. And that just became so almost painful if I don't do it that way.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you're singing my song because
Mhm.
for me, the consultress
Yeah.
was born because I had this very kumbaya brand and I was attracting people who were too whiny for me. And then
Hmm.
I went all the way to the other side and was like, hurrah, like this, like take no shit brand. And I really, there were some very like self-masochistic people who came, I'm like, all right, there's some temperance in the middle here. I
Yeah.
want to have the ability to make a difference for people. And, early in my business, people were like, what do you do? And I would talk about all the things that I would do. My very first
Yeah.
client was someone who we grew up as children together on the beach. And, she bought a business, and I just started talking about segmenting her book of business from the acquisition she just did so she could introduce herself to some of the core clients and whatnot. And she's like, "Can I pay you for this?" And I thought, "Oh shit, I have a business."
Mm-hmm.
But from that moment, marketing, operations, is it a mindset? Is it, you want to build a passive income investment business, but you're not a real estate professional? Like all of these things that like I personally have done, like I
Right.
can pay forward, but I love what you said about like presenting it. Like I have all these tools and it can be all these things, but
Mm-hmm.
presenting it in a way that draws the people in that I like know that I
Well,
can make a
I was
difference.
talking about all those things in my toolbox. I was talking about them all the time. And when you really think about that, well, how confusing is that?
Yes.
I'm talking about sleeping better, eating better, um, being more, what else was in there? Your mindset, my positive psychology stuff. Like I'm talking about all these separate things, like they're separate, and they weren't. So I remember getting feedback about 10 years ago from some close connections of mine, and every single one, including some close friends and some family members. I don't, I'm not really sure what you do. Are you a life coach? Are you a health coach? Are you a mindset coach? Are you a business coach? What? And I thought, these are the people that know me and they don't know what I do. Obviously, strangers aren't going to know. So that's when it became too painful to stay in that space of talking about myself and my accomplishments and my certifications and my. It's not about any of that. It's about, can I get you where you want to go? Can I be your coach, your mentor, your guide, your consultant?
Your muse,
I
whatever.
don't care. Well, whatever. Your fire starter, right? You need me to chase you around with a lighter under your butt to get you moving. Okay, that's fine. But when it became less about me, right? Because that comes from a place of being a little insecure in what I was doing, right? When it became less about me and more about what I can do for you, it, it, the label on it did not matter.
Drop the mic. We're done here. Everybody go home. When you can pull the labels off
Oh,
and just
yes,
be
yes,
present for
yes,
being of
yes,
service, like
yes,
there it is. And
yeah.
that to me, once I finally got over the fact, like I don't have to describe what I do. I
Mm-hmm.
just have to meet people where they are and say, well, what do you want? Yeah, I can help with that. And that was a resistance in me. That part
Same,
right there was like, do I
same.
believe that I can? Do
Mm-hmm.
I think that I have enough skill set to be able to make a difference? And I had to get out of that. Like, so listen, full disclosure, I was an A-track student who always got away with massive delays and deadlines. I was like almost voted most likely to weasel out of trouble because I I came with a smile, but everybody always, gave me, so I'm like, okay, I learned how to game a system, but like
Mm-hmm.
straight A's taught me like everything has to be perfect. And
Mm.
guess what? Like in this world full of messy and unknown stuff that's thrown at you all the time, like
Yeah,
there is no perfect way to help somebody. There's only being present and being willing to support and help. So I
yeah,
had to get through my thick freaking skull that there was a way it needed to be done and just embrace that. Like I'm super creative. I tell everybody I fall in love with my clients. So be
me
prepared.
too.
Like if
Me
we
too.
engage, like this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the full court press. And like
Mm-hmm.
you said, and I could be pulling from any one of these buckets, but at the end of the day, there is always some value to be created from being in collaboration with one another.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
I
what coaching
love
is.
that so much because I just learned just a couple weeks ago, I learned how to create AI images of myself. And this is just one of many, many examples, but it's a really good one because there's a way to create AI images that everybody knows how to do. Then there's a way to create AI images with my face, my body, different backgrounds, different clothes. I was like, oh, I'm learning that. I'm learning that because that's like dress up at a whole new level. Like, and so I started down the path to learn it. It was really difficult tech wise. So the average Joe, no way they're doing it. No way. I mean, what I had to infer and be intuitive about with 3 different softwares in order to extract my face and body and then get it into. So it was this whole process. I learned how to do it. I'm like, all right, I got 1,000 new pictures of myself and they're me. They're me just in clothes I don't own, which is fabulous, right?
Dude, I think I saw one of those.
You did in the blue dress.
That's the one.
Oh, good. That's the best one. New York City street, hands in pockets, confident, love it. Anyway, so I did that for myself. And then I have 7 one-on-one clients right now. And one of them is going through a giant up level. New website, new funnels, whole new system of tracking his leads and his sales. He's an incredible coach. And I said, how many pictures do you have of yourself? He said, oh, about 20 or 30 that my son took in my office. I'm like, send them to me. So he sends me them and I work my magic and I send him back this Google Drive folder of him in coffee shops around the world, on a Paris street, in Italy. Oh my God, they're incredible, incredible. And he was like, how much do I owe you for these? He's going to use them on his website. He's going to use them in social media, on his blog, podcast, everything. And I said, this is one of the benefits you get as one of my one-on-one clients. When I need guinea pigs for stuff and when I want to try new things, you get the benefit of it. And he said, well, how much would you charge for this? Now, this is the guy who would probably be sending me the money if I tell him that. And I said, why are you thinking you have people who need this? And he said, oh, no, I was just going to send you a check. And I said, no,
Nice try.
no, nice try. Nice try.
Like trying to
But
steal the check at the restaurant.
yeah, no, no. And I said, if you have someone who needs this, I said, it's not something I just offer. It's a tool in my toolbox again. So it's in my toolbox. And if a client needs it, you're going to get it. But it's not a standalone thing that I go to the online space and say, oh, I have this for sale. No, that's what confuses your market. And so many times I see entrepreneurs and coaches making that mistake. Oh, I just learned this new thing, so let me have a course on it or let me do a program on it. No, no, no. That goes in your toolbox and that makes your coaching more valuable.
Worth the price of admission. Ladies and gentlemen, STK, I am so grateful that you are like in my inner circle. This is just
Thank you.
wonderful,
Me too.
juicy dialogue. Where can people go to find you so that they can learn more about you from here?
SuzanneTaylor-King.com. Very easy.
There you go. You heard it from the lady's mouth. Go find her. Check out what she's about. This woman is brilliant. And
Thank you.
I am so lucky to call you friend and colleague. So thank you for spending some time with us here on Rise and Shine, helping everybody think differently in this age of disruption that has everybody wondering, what are we going back to normal? No, no, we're not. Everything is new, up for review. And
Right.
isn't that cool? Challenge creates what comes next. So we broadcast live every single Monday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. Don't forget to comment below and let us know what you loved about this conversation because she will be back. And in the meantime, friends, we'll see you next time. Same bat channel. Cheers.